Tyson Fury's wife admits that she wanted him to retire after the Deontay Wilder fight. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Shout out to the Cash App too. Y'all been going crazy. If you'd like to sign up for ESPN Plus, use my link below. And you know, some people are getting the Disney bundle. And from my understanding, you can use the ESPN Plus, and even if you have that signed up, then you can get Disney, and then they'll just deduct it off of your bill. Disney Plus just came out. I just purchased it, but I bought it for the year. It was $69.99. And they also have a bundle, but from what I understand and read, you can already have ESPN Plus or whatever, and then they'll subtract it off your bill if you sign up for Disney too and do the bundle, because it's all Disney owns all of that, ESPN and also Hulu, I believe. So Daily Star, they have an article. This is a UK based media, keep that in mind. Tyson Fury admits that his wife wanted him to retire following the Deontay Wilder fight. They show a picture of that, you know, the knockout and hook to follow. Former unified world heavyweight champion Tyson Fury has opened up on his personal life as he continues his comeback to the top of boxing. The Gypsy King had his first world title fight against Deontay Wilder last December after spending almost 3 years out of the ring. The 31-year-old had a number of issues, including anti-doping violations, alcoholism, and extreme weight gain after his sensational victory over Vladimir Klitschko in 2015. But as he targets a rematch with Wilder next February, Fury admits that his wife, Paris, and his brother wanted him to retire from boxing after last year's title bout. He told BBC Sport hold on, let me pause this, hold on. I gotta pause, you know, I can't have stuff playing for copyright reasons. He told BBC Sport that having him be knocked to the canvas in the 12th round as he went on to have a draw, Paris and Shane had had enough. But for Fury, he believes that moment was the one which put him back amongst the best in the heavyweight ranks. That doesn't mean he intends to stay in the sport too much longer, hinting that he could hang up his gloves towards the end of 2020. Fury told the 5 Live Boxing podcast, quote, "I wanted the rematch to happen in February, get it out of the way. I can crack on with my summer then, maybe have another fight in the summer, a rematch, then who knows what happens in December. Hopefully I'll have 3 fights next year, Wilder in February, Wilder in June, and maybe a farewell fight in December. Who knows, Derek Chisora at the MEN or even back at Old Trafford. It's a young man's game, and at 31 years old, I'm getting long in the tooth for boxing." He went on to say when asked about his retirement plans, "There's a lot of young men coming up, and father time catches up with everybody, and I don't want to be in this game longer than I need to. I've got 5 kids at home and a wife, and I think that I should spare a lot of time with them." Sorry, I got a text. "I've got 5 kids at home and a wife, and I think it'd be fair to spend a lot of time with those people after the sacrifices I've had to make." End quote. Well, I don't know what else to say. This is his personal opinion, and the ones who love him, they're telling him to retire. He's admitting that, you know, he could be done in 3 fights, done at the end of next year, 2 with Wilder, 2 more with Wilder, and then possibly be done. Obviously, Wilder has to get past Luis King Kong Ortiz, which I told you, in my opinion, is more dangerous just because Ortiz is a southpaw. He also is technical. He's a tactical fighter, and he hurt Wilder more than I've seen Tyson Fury hurt him. He has more power. So Ortiz is the dangerous fight. Listen, I don't know if it's clear to you guys yet, but new media, we run it. And the stuff that I've been saying with new media and Ego's Army, stuff we've been saying, keeps popping up, keeps showing to be true. And I don't know what else you guys need to believe. And if you don't want to believe at this point, then, you know, you're probably just hating, a detractor, or, you know, you don't really seek the truth. That's just what it has to be. But I've told you guys, there's a reason that Tyson Fury, instead of going immediately into an immediate rematch, which once again, when we've seen historically black fighters get a controversial victory, draw, loss, anything like that, where it was like kind of controversial, they're almost pressured to immediately rescind that and, you know, run it back. Floyd Mayweather Castillo, there was controversy. He fought him 8 months later, the same exact year. Look it up, BoxRec. Floyd versus Maidana. His very next fight was Maidana. Andre Ward. His very next fight was Kovalev. You know, after a tough fight with Kovalev where he got dropped in the first fight. Right? Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Roberto Duran. His very next fight, 8 months later, 8 months later, Roberto Duran. You know, people made all these excuses about Duran. He had party habits and gained weight. He fought him right after. I could see if Roberto Duran, you know, Sugar Ray Leonard waited 3 years and a lot had changed and Duran, you know, couldn't keep his weight down. But if you beat Sugar Ray Leonard and then you know, you disrespect your body or party or drink or do drugs, I mean, that's on you. You know, we don't do them excuses like new media. And then now you have Tyson Fury, who he specifically openly pulled out of negotiations, right? He was already given, look at Jack Reese. Most fighters, when a fighter look like this, where Tyson Fury, just a picture says 1,000 words. He's not even looking at Jack Reese. Why would Jack Reese even be counting? Like before I was like, okay, I could see the fight being draw, but really, realistically speaking, the fight should have been stopped. The man is not even looking at Jack Reese. He's not cognizant. Who even administers a count? See, I wasn't even really looking at it like this. I was just happy to have watched the fight live, and I was like, oh, holy crap. Tyson Fury got up, and, you know, I'm thinking about the movie, but, you know, some time has passed, and look at his eyes are all over the place. First they were closed. Who even administer a count? You know, you look at Canelo versus Amir Khan, and Kenny Bayless, he immediately just waved it off. You know, you typically see that when they hit the ground all crazy and their eyes are closed, stuff like that. Amir Khan's eyes were open, and then Kenny Bayless was like, nah, you know, because obviously his eyes are open, but he's out of here. You know what I mean? He's detached from his senses, just like Tyson Fury right here. And anyway, all the Tyson Fury man fans and a ton of fans from the UK, when I say these things, they say, oh, you're just a bloody Yank and blah, blah, blah. And they were coming to my channel and saying that Tyson Fury destroyed Wilder 10 rounds to 2. But the proof is in the pudding, not by what you say, but by your actions. Wilder, 2 days after the Tyson Fury first fight in December, I got an email from PBC and they said, hey, Wilder would like to do a conference call. And I did a live stream that's on my channel to this day where it was Wilder and I think maybe Steven Espinoza. And they had a conference call and Wilder says, people like Andre Ward and others said they don't think I would want to run it back. I don't know why people are saying that. I'm the Bronze Bomber. I want to run it back. Let's do it. Next fight. And then Tyson Fury and Frank Warren were in negotiations. They had the Barclays Center. They're going to move it coast to coast, you know, do it. First fight on the West Coast, second one on the East Coast. They had the PBC has a deal with the Barclays. That's the East Coast venue for the PBC cards on the East Coast. And everybody thought the fight was going to come. And then Wilder says all of a sudden, Frank Warren and Tyson Fury weren't returning texts and phone calls to Shelly Finkel or Heyman or whoever. And they went radio silent. So they're like, oh, that's weird. Something must be up. And then the world found out that it was because Tyson Fury did this sneak deal with Bob Arum and ESPN was showing interest in him. And then he ran over to ESPN and fled from the immediate rematch. That's precisely what happens. This is well documented. Now Tyson Fury saying, oh, I'm the Gypsy King. I beat his tail and I won 10 rounds to 2. Does it sound like he won 10 rounds to 2? You know, when he really got knocked out. You know, he won 10 rounds to 2, but your brother Shane and your wife Paris, people who love you and are family members, are telling you to retire. Does this sound like he wants to go into an immediate rematch? Beyond, it's not just that he went over to ESPN, which obviously created a gap and a divide between the negotiations that were already being held in deep and you know, virtually finished. But beyond that, beyond all of that, is the fact that he left the whole network and then started fighting tune-up style fights. I mean, I didn't even understand why anyone would believe Tyson Fury at this point. You know, he's a salesman and, you know, people laugh at the jokes and, you know, different things like that. But he just banished and shunned himself from the UK, said they had their chance. And, you know, I'm fighting for me. The UK didn't appreciate me when they had. But now he's talking about, in another interview, he's saying, I want 3 more fights and then I'll probably hang it up because this is a young man's game and this, that, and the third. Maybe have my fight at Emmy, or, you know, that's probably Manchester or something. And Trafford, Old Trafford, is in the UK. So he just did an interview and said he don't want to go to the UK and he's done fighting for the UK because they didn't celebrate him and he's being treated like a superstar. But now he's talking about possibly retiring after 2 Wilder fights in a farewell fight and having a farewell fight in the UK. I mean, the UK is looking crazy right now. You know, because you guys put up with this. You put up with the games and the charades and Eddie Hearn B sample with Dillian White. You know, this double talk from Tyson Fury, Eddie Hearn saying he's disgusted with Errol Spence for, you know, being under 30 and getting a DWI. But then he's trying to force the Chavez Jr. fight, who virtually failed a drug test by refusal, you know, by the Nevada State Commission's own rules. If you evade or you refuse a test, they treat it as you're hiding something. You know, the UK is taking some mad L's. And then, like I said, this is the great thing about new media. Everything's been documented. Tyson Fury just recently said he don't want to fight in the UK anymore. Now he's talking about 2 more Wilder fights, a farewell fight in Old Trafford, which is in the UK. You know, he's talking about fighting Stipe Miocic and wrestling, and all of the Tyson Fury fans and the Man fans and UK United or whoever, all these people believed in Tyson Fury. Oh yeah, he won. He beat that Dawsa 10 rounds to 2. The Dawsa Wilder, Bum Squad Wilder. Nothing sounds believable, which is what I told you from the beginning. If he really wanted the Wilder rematch, he could have already had it. And based on what his actions are and what his family is saying, it does not sound like they are anxious for the Deontay Wilder rematch. This Wilder must really have fear of God power, because fighters aren't the same after Wilder. We've seen it. And it looks like his family wants to protect his health and safety by not putting him in with Wilder. Now, I know Wilder's fighting a very dangerous fight next week. Kudos to Wilder for fighting someone that nobody from the UK, no named heavyweight with something to lose. Like, you know, name a popular heavyweight that's ranked in the top 8 that wants to fight Luis Ortiz outside of Wilder. So they'll lose their ranking if Luis Ortiz sleeps him. Joshua didn't step up. Joe Joyce, Tyson Fury, you know, Dillian White, none of these guys have fought Luis Ortiz, even though some of them have mentioned him or called him old, things like that. Wilder's literally, this is why he's the heavyweight champ and the face of boxing, because he's doing what other people aren't. You know, he's taking huge risks. If Wilder loses, people are going to be like, why'd you fight Luis Ortiz again? You know, why'd you fight him? You don't have to. You out of all people have a pass, because he gave you a tough fight. You got through it. You could do what Tyson Fury's fighting. Fight an Otto Violin. Literally fight Otto Violin, you know, and then see if you do better than Tyson Fury did with him. Fight a Tom Schwartz. He doesn't even have to, and he's still doing it because that's how he's built. Tyson Fury's saying, oh, I beat the Dawsa 10 rounds to 2, and I'm the Gypsy King. But his family and Ben Davison and different people and the actions of his team aren't stipulating that. And now that he had this bad fight where he had this nasty cut, as you guys see, Exhibit A, you know, they wanted to hurry up and put him in wrestling, even though his cut wasn't fully healed. They wanted to quickly erase that from the public's mind. But I didn't forget it. Nobody's going to forget this, you know, especially Wilder. So now you all of a sudden Tyson Fury's talking about retiring, you know, so looks like the writing's on the wall. If Wilder, I know a lot of Tyson Fury fans and different people are praying he crosses over to the MMA or praying that Wilder loses to Luis Ortiz just so Tyson Fury doesn't have to rematch him, or just so he's a little bit shop worn or got some mileage on him from Luis Ortiz. But I'm telling you, like I've stated from the beginning, without changing, notice new media, I don't have to change my thought processes every couple weeks. But notice this, and hear me correctly. If Wilder gets past without many bumps and bruises Luis Ortiz, especially like anything, if it's anything like the Stavern where he just looked crazy good, or Dominic Brazil where he just lays him out with one punch, if it's anything like that, then I really give Tyson Fury no chance in the rematch. Like, very little chance. All this people running around saying 10 rounds to 2, but I don't think, I think the better Wilder does versus Luis Ortiz, the lower chance that I would even give Tyson Fury to beat Wilder. So again, there's a lot of pressure on Wilder. He's fighting a dangerous op with Luis Ortiz, and depending on that performance, I'm picking Wilder to beat Luis Ortiz. I told you, but you know, to me, that's scarier because Luis Ortiz, he's doing it for his family, and you know, ain't nobody telling him, hey, Wilder already knocked you out, retire after this. And you guys keep calling Luis Ortiz old. Tyson Fury's just, you know, early 30s, 31, and he's talking about retiring already. So, you know, it's a bad look in a bad year for old media, because everything you guys are saying is proven to be false. You guys said Tyson Fury whooped Deontay Wilder's butt 10 rounds to 2, but what his team saying, what Freddie Roach has said, with his actions, with the fight, the fact that they put him in light touch tune-ups that weren't supposed to give him problems, that says everything. That speaks volumes, which is what I've said from day one. So Tyson Fury's own family and his own wife want him to retire. They don't even want him to fight Wilder again. Speaks volumes. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next videos, Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.